I tell you what, when you first say that you muck stalls, which I don't have to say anymore because I don't, I feel like I've elevated in that kind of thing, but it's more just I have time with my horses personally, not having to take care of all the other ones on the farm. If you see episode 2 of Farm Talk, you'll understand what I'm talking about more, but when you say to people that you muck stalls, they're like, oh, that sounds like a shit job, pun intended. But really, I used to love doing stalls. I used to love shoveling shit. And the reason was, that was my quiet time. That was the point where I would come up with some of my greatest ideas that I would eventually show to you guys and just pontificate on in my notebooks later on. But that was some of the most creative juice I got, was mucking stalls. Because you're locked in a room, you're not talking to anybody, you're just, you're moving around, you're shuffling, and always I listen to dubstep, so I'm dancing around the stalls. I think that everything you do should be enjoyed, or don't do it. If you don't like it, don't do it. Go for everything at the max, because your life, on the grand scheme, is short, and you're going to want to enjoy this thing to the fullest, so enjoy everything you do. But you get a different idea. You work your body, which is good. It's physically rewarding. And as a male, I've got testosterone going, and if you're a male too, you probably have you definitely have the same thing going. And if you fail to recognize that, and you just sit around all day playing video games, you're going to be very much out of balance, and your body's going to start failing on you in strange ways. Whether it's acne outbreaks or some weird pituitary gland disease, you need to get your body moving if you're a man, and even if you're a woman too, you need to also get moving. But for men, it's important to do physical labor because our bodies, evolutionarily, were built up to be the hunters. We were meant to be the ones to go out for many miles, for many days, and do what it takes to get the meat. So even though we are humans and we like to think that we're separate from our monkey ancestors, we're really not. All that stuff is built up on top of each other. It's not like we were monkeys one day and now we're humans the next. No. We built up on all of that, and a lot of the past monkey shit shines through. It's hard work, and I did it for $0 for my whole life. And I guess that, I couldn't say otherwise because I don't know life without mucking stalls, but I really think it made me who I am today in a big way. I think that it gave me a lot of discipline. My username is DeoGenZ. I share an account with him. Yeah, I bought Minecraft, and then Vladimir said, hey, why don't I do a Let's Play of that? It looks like an infinite thing that people could get tons of Russian goodness on all the time, and this way I wouldn't have to interrupt your Pokemon walkthroughs. So I said, you know what, you can use my account, that's a good idea. And that's how the Let's Play got started. $300 billion, that's nothing. I don't even know what New Jersey owes, but we've been in the red for years. I remember last year when I was still in high school, we had a speaker come in, and she was a senator, and she tried to explain how New Jersey needs to make new jobs, but she didn't have any idea of how that was going to happen. Pretty pathetic. That's the problem, though, is America doesn't make anything anymore. We used to be production beasts back in the Industrial Revolution. Will I ever play a Minecraft episode? I don't think so. Unless you guys really want me to. I don't really see why I need to. You know what I could do is I could do a co-op version with Vladimir Z. Yes, that would be most epic. Of course, yeah, that could be pretty cool. What would you think of that? So we could be playing side by side and we'd both be commentating on the same video. Could be wacky, insane, and hilarious. Yeah, our ass is grass when you look at it through cash. Our souls are owned already. if you'd like to think that money is really the thing to do it. But that's what I'm saying. It's a fucking numbers game. You can't get roped into it. You have to realize what really matters in life. You have to know that when it comes down to it, what do you want at the end of the day? You want a roof over your head, and you want to not worry about food. So be sustainable in that. Learn how to make your own food or catch your own food, prepare your own food, and find a way to live without using the government's assistance. Now that usually means getting off the grid completely, but that's what I'm on the way to doing. It's going to be awesome when my farm down south gets constructed, and I can start to take videos of how it really looks, because right now all of this is just ideas in my head, and I'm working towards this goal, and every day I'm getting closer and closer progressively, but I'm not there yet. But until then, it's just ideas. So I could just be like another loony out there. Have you guys heard of the Zeitgeist Project? Speaking of loonies, that brings it up to mind. But the Zeitgeist Project has the same sort of ideals that I'm talking about here, but the problem is they don't have any way about going to do it. They're just talking about it. And they're saying, we need land, we need money. Yeah, bullshit, you need to do it yourself. You need to go out as an individual and get yourself off the grid. Don't try and be a movement and get millions of people off the grid all at once, but live as an example so you and say and act, because that's a really difficult thing to do, to live off the grid, especially getting there. I mean, right now I'm getting there. I'm in the process of getting there. It's all a big transition, but it's a really difficult thing to do. It's interesting because I'm 18 right now, and not many 18-year-olds that I know, no 18-year-olds that I know are working towards working off the grid or getting off the grid. They are probably doing the antithesis and getting more enveloped in it by going out, trying to get a job, trying to get a career. This whole thing that I'm going to do as far as being a captain, I'm doing it mainly so I can have shipping crates as my home. I want to make a house out of shipping containers, recycled shipping containers, do the installation myself, fabrication, cut out holes for windows and all that, and build it up on a plot of land that I'm going to farm. And it's going to be great. I've got tons of ideas, tons of things written on paper, but again, until people see real progress, it's kind of hard to convince people that it's a real way of living. Otherwise, it just seems fanciful. It seems like fiction or a utopian idea. Oh, and just so you guys know, I'm going to keep live casts at 2 hours. I just took note of the time. We got about a half hour left. No worries there. But I'm going to keep live casts at 2 hours just because I don't want to overflow my YouTube with videos that are already recorded on Ustream. I kind of feel cheap posting videos that are already up somewhere, but I think that it's also more accessible for people who don't want to go to Ustream every time. And quite frankly, Ustream sucks. It's not Ustream's fault. Ustream, I give you hugs, I love you, mwah, blow you kisses, but the thing is, you need to work on your internal system. I don't think that you could have prepared for this massive explosion of what Ustream's turned out to be. Everybody having a show, everybody broadcasting, all these ideas transferring at live speeds or semi-live speeds, because I do know there is a slight lag to what I'm saying to getting to your computer. But as live as it's going to get without me doing a show right in front of you guys on stage, that's incredible. And I really respect Ustream for having the infrastructure to do that and host all that. But it kind of makes some glitches that are really not desirable to watch if you're just trying to see your favorite program. So I guess on YouTube it is a good show, but we'll keep it to 2 hours long. Voice acting, that's interesting. I wanted to be a voice actor too. I still want to do voice acting. Doesn't change that. Once I'm out of doing captain's work, basically I'm going to be a captain because it makes a lot of money quickly. It's going to be, it's two reasons. I want to travel the world, and I want to also be sustainable. And being sustainable allows me to travel the world because I won't have to worry about my house being repossessed because I couldn't pay my loan. I don't want to get caught into too much debt. But when the captain thing ends, and so I can get my own boat and travel the world, I would love to do other careers. I would love to try other jobs. Comedian, voice actor, those are two top on my list that I want to try out. And I think on a base level I do comedy in my Let's Plays, but you can't call it a comedy skit because that's not really the main point. It's just trying to be humorous and keep your guys' attention span while also educating you on the game. But I would love to do comedy. Oh wow, did it just go all the way back up there? It did. I would love to do comedy, and I would love to do voice acting. I was inspired to do voice acting by anime big time, and also video games. Video games and anime. I am an otaku, and I want to give it a try. But also, it's because I can do other accents. Right now, I've got a British accent. Of course, I could do other accents as well. I've got Bill Cosby, you've all heard that one before. But I think it'd be very, very fun to act as someone that I'm not, as I do already, or Vladimir Z. But then see it on another... mixing accents, that's funny. I didn't think that would happen. But it sounded so weird. I would like to see it come out as an animated figure or some character, So I'd love to try voice acting. The monetary system. But who's to say the monetary system can't change? Wait. Yeah. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take advantage of it, but I'm warning you that don't be roped in by it. And how you don't be roped in by it is don't desire so many material goods. Take a lot of time in your life to do introspection, to really think what's truly important to you, what you're passionate about, and don't let money be the defining factor. The way I want to live my life in the future is without any worry of money. I don't want to have to worry about that at all. I don't want to have to think about working on a 9-to-5 schedule or any sort of thing like that. To a degree I will, at a certain point in my life I will, but I want to do that as minimally as possible. And that's also why... right, but that's also why I am very thrilled that things didn't work out in Australia. If you guys didn't know, I was supposed to be going to Australia in February for college, but I couldn't get a loan there. Again, the monetary system, because my country is trying to keep me here, keep me indebted to this fucking place so I can't leave. It's literally trying to shackle me to it. So I'm glad that didn't work out. I actually am very glad, because then I would have had more debt and more shit I would have to pay off. I still want to go to Australia big time. That's one of my top places to visit. And, like I said, I want to travel the world. I want to go around and do what I'm doing here, talking to people, getting your guys' opinions and stories, and meet all kinds of interesting people and places. So Australia is definitely high up there. But I have more time now, since I'm not going there for college, to work on YouTube. And hopefully everything works out in the time I go to Fort Schuyler, that I have a partnership, because that would just be brilliant if my channel was making money while I was doing other things. And I guess it's really me making money off of my own creative endeavors, which I would like to do already, but YouTube doesn't feel I'm worth being a partner yet. So in the future, if that all goes out well, that would be supreme.